Biden, just like many other presidents, has been an extreme embarrassment to us as citizens of the United States. From his addiction to sniffing children, to constant racist remarks.
But if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
In this video, we'll talk about why Biden was one of the worst presidents in US history. I'm Benji, and on this channel, we learn English through interesting topics. Let's get into the video. Biden's upbringing. Joe was born in Scranton in 1942 and came from a middle-class family. His grandfather worked for the American Oil Company, and his father worked as a used car salesman. It might have been his father's challenges to keep the family fed and taken care of that scared Joe away from the private sector, giving him the desire to work for the government, where an abundance of money is always present. And after years of being bullied for his stutter, Joe's desire grew for more money, more power, and a more interesting life. Biden in school and his career. Biden scraped by in college, meaning he did only what was necessary to pass on to the next grade. He graduated from the Syracuse University of Law in 1968 as the 76th in his class out of 85 students, meaning Biden was the 9th worst student in his class. He even got caught plagiarizing or stealing somebody else's work for an essay, and instead of telling the truth, he lied to his professor and said that he was not smart enough to understand how to not steal somebody's work. And somehow he was able to persuade or convince the professor to let him go. After graduating, Biden got a job as a lawyer, but quickly became sick of his middle-class life. He dreamed of having greater things, a bigger house, more income, and more power. So he ran for Senate in 1972. A lot of what Biden was saying as he ran as a senator really resonated with the people in the United States, meaning a lot of people agreed with what he had to say. For example, he opposed the Vietnam War, which was a total disaster for the United States. He wanted the police to focus less on cannabis and focus more on heroin addicts and heroin dealers. And he also wanted to continue the segregation in schools, which means the separation of black and white kids. And so thereafter, he was elected senator, but he had to wait just a little bit of time because when he was elected, he was actually too young to serve at that point in time. Biden's career in corruption begins. Interestingly enough, Biden was under the radar or not really noticed until 1996. What happened in 1996? Well, that year, Biden sold his house for over double the amount that the house was worth to a wealthy credit card company executive. Why would somebody buy a house for twice the amount that it's worth? Simple. The executive wanted a favor in return. The credit card company that paid Biden for favors was called MBNA, and it was bought out later in 2006 by the Bank of America, which, if you don't know, it's a huge bank, which to this day contributes to the political campaigns of Biden. That company, MBNA, even hired Joe's son Hunter on as an executive to the company when he had just graduated from school, meaning he had no experience and they put him on top of the company. Biden's lies. We have all seen videos of Biden telling lies that are easy to prove incorrect. For example, he said, "I was the only one in my class to get a full academic scholarship." Well, not only was he not the only one, he did not get a full academic scholarship. He only got a partial scholarship. Then he said, "I ended up top in my class," which obviously we know is not true. He was the 9th worst. He was 76 of 85. I could go on about Biden's lies for hours because there's a lot of them. But just to go over a few, some of the more notable lies are, he says that his son died in Iraq as a soldier, when in reality, his son died in the United States from cancer. He also said that he was arrested while trying to support and visit Nelson Mandela, which he later apologized for saying because everybody knew it was not true. And lastly, he says that he did not support the war in Iraq, which he voted for, resulting in 350,000 innocent deaths. So yeah, Biden lies. What's new? I mean, he's a politician, right? But something that makes him quite special is his addiction to sniffing little girls' hair. Maybe you've already seen videos of Biden doing weird things like sniffing people's hair, but you probably haven't seen all of the videos because there's a ton. It seems like it's an addiction. He just sees somebody's head and he needs to sniff it. And I know you might think, "Oh, but Trump is weird too." And you're right, but this video is about Biden. Just take a look at these videos and tell me if this looks normal to you, or if this looks like a straight up pervert. So, after being racist, a career in corruption, and sniffing hair, Biden wins and becomes the president. So let's talk about the 3 biggest things that Biden did during his presidency. Number 1, Biden left billions of dollars in hands of the Taliban in Afghanistan. We're talking about billions of dollars worth of fighter jets, guns and ammunition, tanks, military vehicles, and other military equipment. Number 2, he says that the economy is great and that inflation is down, when in fact, everyday necessities have gone up tremendously. For example, the price of eggs is up 33%. Meat is up 8.2%. Gasoline is up 59.9%. And used cars are up 7.1%. With all products added together, we get a total inflation rate of 9.1%. Meaning our money is worth about 10% less today than it was a year ago. And number 3, he opened up the southern border, allowing entry for just about any illegal immigrant that would want to cross. Now, this has been an extremely sad situation where we have good people who came for a better life that were allowed into this country, and now they cannot get a place to stay, they cannot get jobs, they cannot support their family, and they are completely reliant on the government to support them. I mean, a lot of these people are living in camps that look like this, and they have no other option. However, for the criminals that have crossed the border, they're not doing too bad, because guess what? You don't need a work visa to sell drugs or rob people. So all this has done is made lives harder for good people and made lives a lot easier for criminals. But after running our country into the ground, dementia hit. Biden's downfall, dementia, and trouble speaking English. Over the past years, Biden has lost his ability to speak English almost completely. And sometimes he even forgets where he's at, who he is, and has even been seen saying hello to people that have been dead a long time.
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this is Val, you switched on me. This is my wife, this is my sister. They switched on me.
And at first, his bad English was taken as a joke. You know, we think it's kind of funny when a native English speaker makes a mistake. It's funny. But then it all became too obvious that this was a genuine problem, that he literally had dementia. And now nobody's laughing because it's genuinely sad. And for us Americans, we don't know who is running our country, but we can tell you for sure, it's not this guy. So yeah, Biden won't be the next president. Thank God. I mean, just a few weeks ago, he was saying that he was going to continue to run to be re-elected as president of the United States. Fortunately, he dropped out of the race, which is a great thing because obviously he's not competent. However, it's also scary for us Americans because the person who will probably be the Democratic nominee will be Kamala Harris, which might be even worse than Biden. I would really love to hear what you and the people in your country think about Biden's presidency. If you want the flashcards so that you can learn the more advanced words used in this video, go in the description and become a member today. You'll get flashcards for every video and all resources that I make, 100% included in that membership. It was wonderful to talk again with you, friend. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.